Hi there. Welcome to LSB Feasters Radio Channel, where we keep great radio from the past alive just by sharing Airchecks and other odds and ends from the radio business. Today, we are featuring an Aircheck from probably one of the most outrageous talk show hosts ever. I'm talking about the one and only Tom Leykis. Tom actually started out as a jock and would do funny things with Mark Simone on WPIX New York, and then Howard Hoffman at WABC back around 1980-81. But eventually, Tom went out on his own and then moved into talk radio and managed to do talk radio in places like Boston, Miami, Phoenix at KFYI, and eventually made it to KFI Los Angeles. He spent several years there before leaving KFI and then moving on to KLSX 97 in Los Angeles, getting his own national talk show. Tom started out his radio career as a serious talk host, but after some time in syndication, he evolved that show into almost what some people call a shock jock talk show. Tom's show evolved into a really unique mix of men's topics, money, and pop culture. And it became fairly popular, was on many stations across the country. But after a while, Westwood One pulled the plug on the show, and Tom just took his show online, where it remains to this day as a podcast. If you'd like to check it out, head over to blowmeuptom.com. It's the one and only Tom Leykis on 97.1 KLSX Los Angeles.
Welcome to LSB Feasters Radio Aircheck and Classic TV channel.
From Hollywood, it's the Tom Leykis Show.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
And now, here he is, Tom Leykis.
Thank you for tuning in to the Tom Leykis Show. Here we are together again on the radio. And in this segment of the program, I want to talk about your money because you've got less of it than ever. Maybe in your entire adult life, this is the least you've had. Maybe you are concerned about the future. Maybe you're concerned about trying to prepare for the future. And as you know, I am a self-made multimillionaire who, from time to time, has given you some insight into how I became successful financially. Let me just say the basis for being successful financially in hard times, because I came up in years when we had recession and inflation and what have you, and conditions not unlike today. Today's worse, but they were not unlike today. And the most important thing right now for people to do, and I'm going to tell you this right up front before we go to the phones here. The most important thing right now to do is to straighten out your financial house and get it in order. And when I say that, I mean when times are tough, what you must do first is make sure that your debt is zero. That's the number one thing you have to do. Pay down every debt that generates finance charges that you can't write off. So I'm not saying your mortgage. I'm saying every other, Visa, MasterCard, GE Credit, GMAC, your car loan. You can't write off any of that interest at all. You can't write it off unless you're some kind of a Schedule C business or something like that. So you need to pay that stuff off as soon as you can. That means not be putting the money into investments, not be putting money into the stock market, not trying to bet on the recovery of the economy. First things first. Make sure you're not in debt. Reduce your debt load. Reduce your spending. The first way to reduce your spending is to go through every bill you have. Cable TV is a major component of this. If you're paying for channels you don't watch, channels you can do without, call the cable company and discontinue them today. Today. You can cut your cable bill substantially. Okay, your cell phone. How many people out there pay to send photos or pay for text messaging or pay for web access they never use? When's the last time you called your cell phone company to find out what the lowest rates are? Do you know the cell phone company, I found this with my own cell phone. They do not call you when they reduce rates. Even if they've reduced rates, they'll continue charging you the old higher rate until you call and ask. You have to make a habit every 3 months of calling your cell phone company and making sure you get the lowest rates possible. For example, here in Los Angeles, a cell phone company is coming on the market, Metro PCS. It charges $30 a month for everything. Unlimited local, unlimited long distance. I believe they have text messaging included. $30 a month. If that is true, and if their coverage is good, well, first of all, if that's true and they have good coverage, you should be switching to that. But if not, you should at least be calling your cell phone company to see if they are trying to become more competitive with that. If you're paying $200 or $150 a month for cell phone service, you just haven't been doing your homework. So your cell phone bill is something you should look at. Other things to look at, come on. Do you have 2 freezers in your house? Do you have bulbs that are from the Middle Ages? Do you have, ways you waste electricity? Cut them down. Cut them off. Turn them off. Do you leave your printer on or your computer on when you're not using it? Turn them off. Uses a lot of electricity. Find all the ways you can cut your expenses. Shopping at Costco or Trader Joe's or BJ's or Sam's Club, all good ways to maximize value. Just make sure you're checking and making sure you're getting a good deal, because some of those big sizes look like good deals and they're not as good as you think they are. So compare them to your local supermarket. I know that at Ralph's, for example, they've got an aisle of super big sizes of stuff. And the prices are sometimes competitive with Costco or even better than Costco, but you got to go looking. Another good place to shop for groceries, Target or Smart and Final. They have many groceries in large sizes, and you pay less, and sometimes you go to Smart and Final. It can be better because you're not at Costco spending $400 or $500 a trip. You go in there, it's small. You're not going to pick up a Coach purse and a diamond ring and a LCD television while you're there. You're just going to pick up some groceries. Various ways to cut back on your expenses. Got to cut back on your expenses. By the way, they lowered mortgage rates in the past week or two. You need to check, if you have a mortgage, you need to check and see if you've got the best deal on a mortgage you can get. If they have a lower rate and you have to pay closing costs or points, you need to figure out what the break-even point will be. How many years will it take for you to make that money back? If it's more than 3 or 4 years, I would say wait. Wait till the rates go down further. The Federal Reserve is talking about reducing short-term interest rates to 0. The rumor is 0 for short-term interest rates. Now, mortgages are long-term interest rates, and they're not directly connected to the short-term interest rates, but there is some loose relationship there. And while the rate may not go to 0 or close to 0, if short-term interest rates go down to 0, long-term interest rates probably will follow to a certain extent. You need to call your credit card company if you have a balance on there. You moron, why do you have a balance on there? If you have a balance on there, you need to find out if you have the lowest possible finance charge. You need to check your FICO score to see if you've got good credit. See if your credit rating is good. Find out the ways you can improve your credit rating. This is the time you got to get your crap together. This is what you should be doing now. And finally, very important for you to have a minimum of 6 months, but I'm saying now a minimum of 12 months of emergency expenses. Figure out what you spend per month, and that means everything from your mortgage or your rent to your credit card payments to your car payments, your utilities, your groceries, clothing, whatever it is, and it's more than you think. Figure out how much that is, multiply that by 12. That's what you should have in the bank. That's what you should have in the bank. It's that simple. Gotta cut back, gotta cut back, gotta cut back. Gotta do it. And by the way, I'll remind you of something dopey. A dopey way to save money. If you're still stupid enough to be spending $5 for a cup of coffee at Starbucks, at Costco right now, you can get 5 $20 gift cards. Retail value $100. At Costco, you can get 5 $20 gift cards for $80. That's 20% off, you morons who need a calculator. Why are you spending full price at Starbucks when you can get 20% off by going to Costco? These are just some ways that you can make things a little easier. You got to batten down the hatches, folks, and be prepared for a recession that could last the next 2 years. And that's what they're predicting. Could be up to 2 years. You have got to be prepared. And finally, don't be a dope, okay? If you've got a good job but you're bored, don't quit it until you've got another good job where you're pretty much guaranteed to be staying there. If you have a good job and you just don't happen to like it and you don't like the boss, sack up. You're lucky to have a good, secure job at a time like this. I recommend you learn to love your boss. Learn to cooperate. Learn to coexist. I also recommend education. Community college, night school, night classes, adult education, whatever it takes, get more training, more education. You know, separate yourself from the guys who work at Jiffy Lube. Seriously. No knock on Jiffy Lube. It's just that, obviously, if you think you've got more on the ball than the guy who puts oil in your car, you've got to start proving it. We'll talk about your money this hour. I'm not a financial planner. I'm not a certified financial planner. I'm not a stockbroker. I don't have a doctorate. I'm just a guy who grew up very poor and ended up a multimillionaire. And I'm here to tell you ways that you can start heading in that direction. All you have to do is dial in.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866. The Tom Leykis Show. This is 97.1 FM Talk.
It's the Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. All right, let's talk about your money. Let's do it. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Let's say hello here to Jose on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom. A pleasure to talk to you, first of all.
I'm sure it is.
But I have a question. I'm working part-time. I'm a full-time student. And I have a credit card debt because I was unemployed for about 3 months because I did car sales. And, I mean, I saw that was going bad. That was going to go nowhere real quick. So I got out just in time. And but I didn't. My mistake was not having a job before I left. So, unfortunately, I ran up some credit card debt. And now I'm $1,600 in the hole. And I want to know, is there any other way? I'll give more than the minimum payment. The only thing is I want to know if there's any way I could maybe, well, actually, this is actually what I was thinking. I want to know what you think. I was going to take out a student loan a little bit and pay off that credit card debt and just see how that went. That way I could have more money for groceries and rent and other things.
Well, you could certainly do that, but do you have any idea what the interest rate would be on that debt?
I'm assuming like a 7 or 8% on that student loan.
Don't be assuming anything right now with the way the credit situation is. Banks, you better find out what the interest rate is. Do you know what the interest rate is on your credit card?
On the American Express, it's 7.9, and on the Wells Fargo credit card, I think it's about 2%. Because it's practically nothing. They charge me like $1 every month. Well,
that's a teaser rate. You're not paying 2% forever. How long have you had that card?
I've had that card since I was 18.
If I were you, I would check and see if you're still paying 2%. I don't think you are.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You're probably paying a lot more than that.
Okay.
All right. So, you know, the fact is, if you got 7.9% on your American Express card, I don't know how much better a student loan rate you're going to get than that.
Right.
All right? So the one you want to pay off first is the one with the highest interest rate. But
right.
we don't know which one that is yet because I'm telling you, you're not paying 2% on your Wells Fargo card.
Okay.
That may have been the rate when you started, but it was probably for a limited period of time, like 6 months.
Yeah. See, well, because I look at the finance charges every month, and they're about $1.94. depending on how high the balance is, I try to keep, I don't use them all the time.
You shouldn't be using them at all. You should be reducing that debt to zero.
Right, which is what I'm trying to do. That's why I haven't been...
Right, but by using the card, you are raising the balance.
Correct.
You shouldn't be doing that.
I see. I'm trying to make ends meet, but it's a little tough because I work...
Well, let's start with this. If you are paying 2%, and it's going to be for a period of time, you should find some way to transfer the balance from one to the other. To the one with the lowest interest rate.
That's true.
The easiest way to do that is just to write a check. Credit cards offer checks.
Right.
And you can write a check and draw on your, like a cash advance. You can draw on your cash line there, your credit line. And if I were you, I would wipe out the balance of one in favor of the one with the lowest interest rate.
I see. Yeah. I think that would work.
Then don't use the card with a zero balance.
Okay.
Ever.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Sounds good. One question though. I have noticed that you've said on your show you are an atheist. I know this is off topic, but just a question: why don't you believe in a higher power?
I don't answer why don't yous, because it's all about why do you believe. You're not going to answer a negative. Thanks for the call, 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Let's say hello here to Ricky on the Tom Leykis Show.
What's up, Tom?
Not much.
All right, so here's the deal. When I started my business about 2 years ago, I got an American Express card that I was going to use for my business, and I use it for everything.
What kind of business do you have at 23?
I started off at graphic arts, and I also broker a lot of printing.
Okay.
So I purchased all my materials and all my shirts and whatnot with the credit card. And then all my customers are net 30, so when I get paid by them, I pay off the credit card.
All right. So, does that mean that sometimes you pay the bill late?
No, because I usually have enough in the bank to cover it.
All right.
I at least pay the minimum payment, and if not, then the next month I'm paying it off completely.
Right.
So I've been doing really well on it. And so I recently checked my credit score, and it's not on there. And I didn't realize this when I opened it, but it's not affecting my personal credit at all.
Right, because the credit card belongs to your LLC or however your business is registered, corporation, whatever. It's not your credit card. It belongs to the corporation.
But it's not a corporation. That's why I was confused.
Do you have an LLC?
No, a sole proprietorship.
All right, but it's still a business.
So how do you suggest I can get some good credit onto my side using that as leverage?
I don't think you can. I think you'd have to use a personal credit card.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was my question.
Yeah, use it. Why not use your personal credit card? Many entrepreneurs do that.
All righty. I guess I'll have to do that then. Start from scratch.
Yes. Generally, the business credit card belongs to the business. And therefore, your credit is not affected positively or negatively by that.
On the contrary, though, not affected positively. If I miss a payment, they told me that they will report it on my personal credit, that's what I don't understand.
Well, that could very well be.
So they're the winners.
By the way, I would not be missing payments on anything.
Oh, I don't.
Especially now.
I agree.
Because banks are taking away credit cards. Banks are taking away credit lines that people have. Overdraft protection, or some people have unsecured credit lines. Banks are chopping and hacking away at that stuff.
I know. They just lowered my limit in half.
Well, so it's happened to you already.
Well, what happened was there was a negative mark on one of my other credit cards that wasn't mine. And so I called and had it removed, and then they're in the process of putting it back up.
Right.
But for a while there, I was totally screwed.
Yeah, well, then you you have to be absolutely scrupulous about paying everything on time.
Yeah, I know.
There is no room for error right now. All right?
All right, take me out old school, Tom?
I'll take you out old school, baby. Here you go. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number, the Tom Leykis Show. And we are talking about your money here. Jenna on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom. How are you?
I'm okay.
Thanks so much for doing this. I appreciate the advice.
Sure.
My question is, I've got about $10,500 left on my car loan, and I have enough in the bank to cover that amount, but there wouldn't be a whole lot left over. I'm wondering if you think I should pay off the car loan.
What was the original balance?
The original balance for the car loan was $16,000.
Okay. And how much time do you have left on this loan? How many months was it, and how many months are left?
It was originally 60 months, and there's 48 months left.
You have 48 months left.
Isn't that so long?
My goodness, you know, here's the deal. Do you have a credit line, like a credit card, if you needed to borrow money in a pinch? Do you have a way to get money if you needed cash?
Yes, I do.
You do? Well, then, if I were you, I'd pay that car loan off. Although you've paid a big part of the interest in the first year of that loan, you still have quite a bit of interest left to go on a 60-month loan.
Right.
And, you know, if my guess is whatever you're getting paid in interest, where that money's being kept, is not as high as the interest rate that the bank is charging you to borrow money for that car loan.
Yeah, that's totally true. I never thought of it that way.
So unless you think you're going to need cash short term, if you think the odds are you can live, you know, and then build up your cash reserve, obviously, I would pay that loan off.
Okay. I definitely will do that then. That's good advice.
Okay.
Thank you.
Jenna, thank you for the call. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Let's say hello here to, is that Danya?
It's Danya, yes.
Danya on the Tom Leykis Show. Hi.
Hi. First off, I love you. My husband does not understand why I listen to you. And I have to explain to him that I love arguing with you, basically.
That's okay.
I was calling because I appreciate that you're offering just general advice. And we, you know, we've tried a little bit of everything in terms of paying off our debt. I've been successful at it, but we're at the point where we're just kind of in a rut. I don't want to work the 2-3 jobs anymore. We have brand new babies at home. And
how many babies do you have?
We have triplets.
And so I imagine you did fertility drugs?
No. Spontaneous, identical triplets.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So as you imagine, our expenses have just gone, you know, through the roof the last several months. And, you know, I'm looking for a creative way, smart way to work smarter and not harder, basically, and don't really know where to start.
Well, let me ask you this question. Are you paying somebody for child care?
We're fortunate that my mom is watching them, and yes, we do pay her not as much as we would for a regular daycare provider.
Yeah, but how much do you make at your jobs?
I work for a nonprofit social services agency, and
so not much.
Right, exactly.
How much is not much?
In the loan industry, and obviously that's not very good right now.
What's your annual income right now? Or your monthly income if you can't figure it out?
Monthly together, somewhere between, I believe it's like $6,000 a month.
Is that net or gross?
Gross.
All right. So you make, what, about $60,000 a year?
Roughly, yeah, about.
$60,000 a year?
A little bit more, actually. No, a little bit more than that.
All right. 70?
Yeah.
$70,000 a year. And how much are you paying in child care?
We pay her $500 a month.
All right, so you're paying $6,000 a year for child care. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. And what does your husband make?
He, one of the disagreements that we've had is what to do. We have a little bit of a savings, and I feel like we should pay off some of our debt, car loans, that sort of stuff. But at the same time, I was listening to what you were telling the previous caller, that if you have access to money in case of emergencies, then you should pay those loans off. And
yes, because you can always, you know, if you're using, I don't know, if you're using a bank account and you have a credit card with a cash advance feature, or a credit line, an unsecured credit line, or a secured credit line like a home equity loan or something like that, you can always borrow money again if you have to.
Right. And we both have good credit, and I have, I would hate to do it, but I would be able to take from credit cards in case of emergency. So my mindset is more like what you just described, that we should pay off those bills so that our gross...
well, you shouldn't be renting money. You shouldn't be paying to rent money, and that's what you're doing when you have credit card debt.
Right.
You're paying to rent money. Where is your money kept? The money you have probably in a bank, right?
Correct.
Earning less than 1% interest, I'll bet.
A little bit more than that, but yeah, it's not...
I'll bet not more than 2%. It's low. And the credit card interest is somewhere between 7 and 18%, right?
No, I have it at 3.
3? That's a teaser rate. That's not a permanent rate.
No, it's until the balance is paid off.
But but you did it it was a teaser rate to get you in. You did a balance transfer.
Correct,
but any new charges you make are charged at a higher rate.
Right, but we're not using it as it's just the balance, and that's it. It's not increasing, so we are only paying the 3%.
Okay. Well, again, my attitude about it is if the amount you're paying on the credit card is more than the amount you're being paid to have money in the bank, pay the credit card.
Okay.
If you think that you're going to need money, don't pay the credit card and then borrow again in a month at a higher rate.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it all depends on what you think your needs are going to be. And finally, you need to cut your spending. Having children is a sacrifice.
Absolutely.
No, but everyone says that, but nobody actually believes in doing what you have to do. You have to trade down on everything.
On everything?
On everything. You're going to drink worse coffee. You're going to eat worse food. You're going to eat out less. You're going to go out less.
Right.
That's you have to accept that is part of having children.
Okay.
You have to cut your lifestyle. You now you have the same money that 2 people lived on. Now you've got 5.
Right.
And the only way you can do that is by cutting your expenses everywhere.
Okay.
What kind of cars do you drive?
I had a Yaris, which was...
That's a small car.
Economical on gas. I got it when gas prices were at their highest.
That's good.
And my husband has a Toyota truck, Tacoma.
What is he driving a truck for?
We're kind of trying to decide what to do. We actually have another car that we had to get because of the triplets. And
why does he need a truck?
Because he loves to go off-roading.
Goodbye to that truck. Goodbye. Goodbye.
I hope he's listening because I've been trying to convince him to.
It's got to go. It has got to go. Again, you want to have children, you have to cut back on your own lifestyle.
Right.
You have no choice. If you don't want to work harder, you have to cut back on your lifestyle.
True. Absolutely.
And you do not need a Toyota Tacoma.
To get rid of that car and keep the Yaris, even though the Yaris would not be the smartest choice in the long run.
Why would that not? Why would a Yaris not be a smart choice?
Well, I mean, it doesn't fit our entire.
You're not putting children in the flatbed of the Tacoma.
No, not in the back, but
you're not.
Yeah.
No, you're not. Get a RAV4. Get a year-old RAV4.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I'm telling you?
Yes.
You're cutting your lifestyle. You have no choice.
Okay.
5 people do not live as cheaply as 2.
Right.
So you have to do it. I hear resistance in there, and you're going to have to get over that resistance for sure.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866. The Tom Leykis Show. This is 97.1 FM Talk.
It's the Tom Leykis Show. Now heard 6 days a week here in Los Angeles. Here are Saturdays from 2 until 6 p.m. Pacific time on 97.1 FM Talk. If you're outside of Southern California and you'd like to listen in, just go to blowmeuptom.com. Click on the Listen Live button between 2 and 6 p.m. Pacific time this Saturday. You will hear me and our Saturday show. You want to tune in for that? It's 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. We're talking about your money. I'm not a certified financial planner. I'm not a stockbroker. I do not have a degree. I'm a guy who was poor who became a multimillionaire. That's what I am. And I'm here to share what I know with you. I don't sell seminars. I don't sell books. I have no vested interest. 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Patrick on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
Hey, Tom, what's up?
Not much.
All right, here's my situation. I got a credit card, and I have about $3,000 that on it.
Why do you have a $3,000 credit card debt?
Because I bought stuff, and, yeah.
You made stupid decisions.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and what made you think that, you thought you were getting a good deal or something?
Well, I don't know. I guess it was just being stupid and not realizing the consequences.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, but I also want to go to school, too, but I want to get this debt out of my way so I can go to school,
Yeah.
And I'm just here.
By the way, you're 20 years old. Why aren't you in school?
Because I tried to get in for 2 years, and my applications got denied.
Well, come on. How many places did you apply?
3. I applied to 3.
That's it? That's it?
Well, I thought 3 was, enough.
Obviously, you had average grades or less. So, therefore, applying to 3 colleges was hardly enough.
I should have applied to more.
10 at least.
All right. Now, okay.
It doesn't sound to me like you've had a lot of ambition here, son.
I'm trying, I'm trying to push myself now,
Yeah, well,
never.
Now you're seeing why you should have pushed yourself 2 years ago.
Yeah, I wish...
You had no idea the economy had gone the crapper and that you'd be in big trouble like you are now.
You're right.
You thought you'd just party and use your credit card and hang out and defer the decision.
Well, yeah, you're pretty much right. You pretty much hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, I know. So what is your question?
I was wondering, what can I do, aside from, paying it, and, is that going to affect me going to school, to try to get a loan? Or should I just save up and then just...
Well, are you telling me that you also have bad credit?
Well, I'm not really sure on the whole bad credit thing.
Why aren't you sure? Why haven't you checked your credit?
I'll do that today, then. I should check.
Why haven't you done it?
Because I never really thought about it until now.
Son, you're an adult. You're 20 years old.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things you haven't thought about.
Yeah, obviously.
And now you're getting serious?
Yeah, it's time to step it up.
Yeah, it is time to step it up. Check your credit score.
Okay.
Pay your bills. Do you pay your credit card on time?
Yeah, I do them. Yeah.
I mean 100. What, the minimum payment? Why do you pay the minimum payment?
Well, I pay over the minimum.
How much over the minimum?
About $300.
You pay.
So it's the minimum's like $52, so I just pay $300.
All right. You're paying $300 a month.
No, $300 every 2 weeks.
You're paying $600 a month.
Yeah.
All right.
Sometimes a little bit more. Yeah.
Well, then it should be paid off in about 7 or 8 months, right?
I'm trying to get it in between 3 and 4. Because I'm not even going out anymore. I stopped going out, so now I just got to focus on this.
Yeah, but by the way, you're still using your credit card.
No.
Well, you say you're trying to get it between 3 and 4. Is it 3 or 4?
3.
Why do you have to try to get it between 3 and 4?
Because I just want to get this credit card debt out of the way.
But you just said it's 3. Is it 3 or 4?
3.
So you don't want to get it between 3 and 4. You'd have to charge more on your credit card to get it between 3 and 4.
Well, I'm not going to charge anymore. I'm done charging it.
When did that stop? Yesterday?
No, actually, beginning of November.
It's not that long ago, son.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to get that debt paid off.
All right.
But I wouldn't let it delay my applying for schools.
Okay.
It's time to get serious about applying. Do you have any idea what you want to be when you grow up, son?
Yeah, recording engineer, anything with music, or if not, I'll try to...
Can I be honest with you? I mean, I'm in the audio production business. Have you read anything about how the recording industry is doing as a business lately?
Yeah, it's going down, but it's something I want to do.
I know you want to do it, but you know what? I'd love to have been the Iceman and delivered big blocks of ice to people's homes, ridden on a horse with the ice, big blocks of ice in the back. Summertime kids sitting on the back of the truck, trying to get cool next to the ice. That would have been really cool. But you know what? Those days are gone.
True.
All right? And being a recording engineer, more and more people can be a recording engineer in their bedroom with a PC.
That's what I've been doing lately. So.
But that's my point.
Okay. All right.
I mean, the record industry is in the toilet.
Yeah.
You really want to build your life around that?
No,
How about you build yourself a real career, and if you want to do that as a hobby on the side, well, fine.
Okay.
That is no longer a career goal, because you could find yourself at 30 years old in a defunct industry.
All right.
It's like anybody thinking of getting into radio or TV right now, don't even do it. Do not do it. If you're not already in, this is not the time to start.
All right.
Because down the line, and by the way, these are still very healthy businesses that throw off a lot of cash. But down the line, we don't know what's going to happen.
All right.
One thing we do know is that we're going to need lawyers. We're going to need people who have degrees in business administration. We're going to need people who are architects. We're going to need people who are engineers.
All right.
And I don't mean recording engineers. I mean,
I understand.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I understand.
I mean, the media in general are doing nothing but cutting and cutting and cutting jobs.
All right.
You've heard about that, right?
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Layoffs in recording industry everywhere. Everybody's laying off. Nobody's hiring.
I guess it's time to look for another profession, then.
I would look for another profession, son.
All right.
It's time to get serious. You're an adult now.
Yeah. Time to start thinking like one.
Right. And wanting to be a recording engineer in an era when the record companies appear to be going out of business. Not smart thinking.
All right. Well, that's why I called you to straighten me out.
Well, I'm telling you, if you want to sit home on your PC and... play with Saw Plus or, whatever program you like to use. Great.
Yeah. All right.
But don't be trying to make a career out of that. Because every moron with a MySpace page is doing the same thing.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, give this some thought, and we'll have another show like this soon. You can call me back and give me a progress report.
All right. Thanks, Tom. Blow me up.
All right, I certainly will.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-8666. The Tom Leykis Show. This is 97.1 FM Talk.
From Hollywood, the Tom Leykis Show, now 6 days a week. Here is in Los Angeles on Saturdays from 2 to 6 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk. If you don't live in Southern California, just log on to blowmeuptom.com. Click on the Listen Live button this Saturday between 2 and 6 p.m. and you'll be listening live to the Saturday edition of the Tom Leykis Show. That's right. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. We're talking about your money, baby. Fernando on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hello, Tom. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing okay.
I love your show. First-time caller.
Thank you.
I just have a question. I had a student loan that's it was a really old student loan. Well, make a long story short, I was I moved from my parents' house, and I guess they were receiving bills, and they never told me. So finally, when I went to go pick up my mail, there was a letter saying that they're going to garnish my wages. So I'm paying about...
Why are your wages being garnished? Why haven't you been paying your bills? Hello? We'll never know. All right, 1-800-5... by the way, I think he was still there. I think I kind of... he was like a deer in the headlights when I asked him that question. Why is he paying his bills? 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Daryl on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Daryl.
Here's my situation. About a couple of weeks ago, I ended up calling one of my credit cards, and it's one of the popular banks that I have with my credit cards. And so I wanted to lower my interest rate, and so I took approach where I decided to call them and say, hey, I need you to lower my interest rate. What can you guys do for me? And so they said, well, the best I can do for you, I can lower your interest rate from 18% to maybe 17.5%. So, which I thought was just ridiculous. So I called again, and after long hours of talking to them over the phone, I said, you know what, I'm having some sort of financial crisis. I need you guys to lower my interest rate. So I guess at that point on, they ended up closing two of my major credit cards.
Yeah, because you told them you're having a financial crisis, which wasn't smart.
It was a bonehead mistake, and so I totally would admit to that. But, right now I'm in the process of, next year, since the housing market is going down, I want to buy a house, and I'm not sure if it's going to affect...
You are not buying a house.
I'm trying to. That's the whole plan. I mean,
you're not. You can't even pay your bills. You are not buying a house. You're not.
That's not the problem. I mean, I can totally pay my bills.
Why do you have credit card bills? Why do you have Why do you have a credit card balance?
Okay, so the reason I have a credit card balance is because I got married not too long ago, and
your wife spent all your money?
Exactly. So I spent.
Why do you let that happen?
Well, I couldn't afford my wedding, so I needed to.
You just said you're having a financial crisis.
I'm actually not, but that's what the kind of spirit I gave to them, because I wanted them to lower my interest rate.
What a moron. You don't want them to think you have a financial crisis. You want them to think you're a blue-chip customer with sparkling credit, the kind of person they want to do business with, and that they might lose your business if they don't lower your interest rate. You don't tell them you have a financial crisis.
Well, I did it the first time. The second time I did that because I wanted to lower my interest rate.
Did they lower the interest rate finally?
No, they didn't. They wanted to. They were only going to work with me for about 0.5% of my interest.
Right. Now, the point is, if you have great credit, you could get a credit card from somebody else with lower interest rate. Did you?
Well, that's what I was planning on doing. I mean, I have a $750.
You were planning on doing.
Well, I wanted to get a lower, apply for another credit card that had a lower interest rate and do a balance transfer so I can pay off that one credit card. But now that
why do you have if you can't pay your credit cards down to zero, you can't afford a house. Period.
Well, no, I mean, I can pay off my credit card
to zero.
To try to
zero
my interest rate, so I don't have to pay interest to the banks.
You know the best way to not pay interest to the banks? Have a zero balance.
Yes, I can. I can live with that. I mean,
you can't do it.
Pardon?
You cannot do it. If you could do it, you would do it.
Well, that's the thing. When I got my first statement, I saw, a card, a statement that was for $100. And I'm like, wait a minute, for $3,000,
oh, man, you are just a BS machine, man.
The Tom Leykis Show. This is 97.1 FM Talk.